Hey folks, it's Tom, your frugal prepper. So I figured I'd just do a quick garden update. I am primarily carnivore. I do still grow some peppers, spaghetti, squash. I grow onions. I have onions in here now. I grow um, some tomatoes, and whatever I have that's in excess, I'll usually sell or give away at work. But I do like gardening, and I don't eat that many vegetables, so I usually grow more than I eat. But that's fine. I can share them with other people. Um, these are my onions. What I do is I plant some onion bulbs in the fall, in the late fall, and they come up in the spring the next winter. And so last year I really let this garden just go to waste. I didn't really harvest anything out of it, just some spaghetti squash. The tomatoes, everything died. I just didn't take care of it. I was carnivore, and I was like, I don't care about a garden. I'm busy. So this year, now that I'm not mobile mechanicing anymore, I'll have more time. But I spent a lot of time out here just getting these edges trimmed around the fence so the weeds don't grow into the electric fence, because if the weeds touch the electric fence, then it's not effective. Then I have to have that to keep all the animals out, you know. They'll come to Tom's Mittlieder garden buffet. And then I spray some vinegar mixed with some water and some Dawn dishwashing liquid down here. It's in a Round Up jug because I have a Round Up sprayer, but it's no Round Up in there. But I spray that down along here, and I do that every few weeks just to keep all the weeds dead. But they were really grown up. It was a lot of weed eating. These garden beds are really grown up too. I still have to get this one prepared, and that. Here's my asparagus plants. They're starting to get a little thicker. They've been in 2 years now. So I'm letting them grow for a few years before I try to harvest any off of it. But these ones right here are all new. So they're thickening out. I'm hoping just to do this side of the bed with some asparagus, because I do occasionally like that. I still have some more weed cleaning to do here. My T-frames that were in this bed broke and fell over. They're stored behind the shed. They can be repaired. You can saw another piece of 4x4 and just stick on the bottom. But I just decided to pull them out of this bed because I'm not growing as much stuff that needs T-frames these days anyway. This is probably all going to be spaghetti squash, and it will grow out of the bed. So I'm not too worried about that. And then back here, I'm going to do some green beans, some peppers, and some tomatoes. And they'll hang from these T-frames on a string. They'll grow up the string, especially the beans. Whole beans grow well this way. So I like the pole beans because they produce all season long. So you can just come out and pick a bucket, can them, come out a week later, pick a bucket and can them. You don't have to like go through the bush plants and pick like a bushel of them and then worry about how you're going to get them all canned before they go bad, you know. So I like to do that. I have my bird feeder up here. It's not full yet, but I find that birds actually eat pests and stuff out of the garden, so you're good. It's a good job to attract birds. They see that you know, tomato worm, and they go and grab them and eat them. I don't have any problems with the birds here in Ohio trying to eat the produce or anything. So I got this bed tilled yesterday. That was a job. Just because it was so full of weeds, it kept tangling up the rinds. So like over here is a pile of the grassy weeds that I had to pull out of the tiller. So yeah, that's all good. We'll get this flattened out with the garden rake. I'll go and till in my pre-plant and my first weekly feeding before I plant. And then I use the Mittlieder gardening method. So for those of you who don't know, we use synthetic fertilizers, right? My nitrogen's probably made from natural gas, right? Plants don't know the difference. So we put down a weekly feeding of everything that a plant needs to grow and survive and thrive. And I grow in the dirt. A lot of people grow in sand and soil dust because they're not depending on the soil for anything but to hold the roots, right? And it's getting a little bit better now these days, but this was rock hard clay when I first started about, I don't know, it's probably been about 7 years ago when I started in this location from moving here from my old house. So yeah, my 2x4 is looking a little bent there, but it's still standing pretty good. What I'm going to do, the other frames just started to lean and they eventually fell over. I'm probably going to take and go into this with a board to go at a right, go at an angle from this one down to this one to help give that some extra support and make it good and stiff. But these are the last T-frames I built. Those other ones I built at my old house. So they're like 10, 11 years old now. So yeah, they finally had enough, and they just, 2 of them broke at the bottom. 1 of them didn't break. It just fell over. So that's my garage, or that's my garden. And I kind of trimmed up these bushes a little bit. They need some more trimming, but they're trimmed back for now at least. And I run my electric fence all the way around. That keeps the pests out of here. I just have a extension cord buried coming over from the garage, and it runs up into my little box here. People have asked me in my comments, where did you get your box? I made it out of wood with a saw. Some old scrap wood I had laying around. I made this, put this little roof on it, and I painted it with some clearance paint from the hardware store. I still have most of that can. I'm probably gonna touch up this top part again this year. It needs it. But yeah, it's just some old wood I had laying around. I made a little box and I mounted my plug with a little switch up in there. And you see a wasp nest that we need to clean out of there. But yeah, the wasps like to get in here, so I keep spraying it with wasp spray. Because it sucks to reach up here and turn it off and then you get stung, I'm really allergic to bee stings, so more than a few of them. I probably am going to have to get an adrenaline shot. And I don't want to do that because that raises my blood pressure, and I have high blood pressure, so it's really important not to get stung these days. But yeah, she's coming together. I got my plants down in the basement. And I'll probably start getting them planted out here next week. The 15th is the average day of last frost. We have some really nice warm weather, so I'll get the spaghetti squash started out here. What I'll do with the spaghetti squash is I'll lay tarps over the grass to just kind of kill it back. And that will let the spaghetti squash just be able to grow out without getting caught up in the grass. But I'll get them planted, and I have a few weeks before I have to start putting the tarps down. And I'll just keep going over this. I'm going to go over this one more time with the riding mower nice and low, and just get it as cut back as I can, and then put a tarp down. But that's how I do it. It'd be good just to kill off this grass eventually. But honestly, when I'm not growing spaghetti squash, I like the grass because you have to come out here and sit and work on the plants. It's nice to sit in the grass rather than sitting on mud. So I honestly like this, and it works really well for me. But the Mittlieder method does say you're supposed to clean out in between your beds and just have it bare dirt. And that's probably best because like bugs and stuff that eat your plants don't like to live in the dirt. They do like to live in grass. I just don't really have that problem. So it's probably just my location. That's not a big deal. Other locations, that might be a really big deal. So all right, I'll talk to y'all later. I gotta get back to work. I'm on my lunch hour. So I'll see y'all later.